Hi, Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 11 of the January daily draws. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Linestrider Tarot, followed by an Oracle card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, so we will go there. And once again, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And you saw me shuffle quite extensively there. So this is the same card as yesterday. So it's very much reinforcing the message. So this is going to be a long message today, because it's a repeat of yesterday. I could say go and watch yesterday's and end the video here, but I won't. I'll try and put it in. Try and find something fresh to say on it. Yesterday we were talking about things taking time, and we might be disappointed in when we look at what progress we've made. We may be disappointed in that it hasn't gone as far as we would have hoped in the time that we've been putting things together. We haven't made the progress that we would have wished for or hoped for at this stage. But I said that we need to evaluate what progress we have made and take time looking at the details of the things. We have the details oracle card to go with this. So maybe don't rush things. Don't be in a rush. Pay attention to detail and look at. If you look more closely, indeed, from the overview, it may not look as if you've done much. But if you look in the fine details of what you've accomplished, you'll find that you've actually made a lot of progress. So that was the kind of message from yesterday. And just persevere, keep going, and things will come together in due time. And that still stands for today. But the focus for today is to evaluate the way that we're creating. Have a look and evaluate the way that you're putting things together. Are you making it harder than it needs to be? Or are you trying to rush it and thereby any progress you make isn't lasting and you have to start again, and that's why it's taking time? So there's two different aspects there to consider. That if if you're making it harder by being too much a perfectionist, and thereby nothing's anything good enough, and that's why you have to start again, because what you've done so far, you get so far, and then you find something that is not to your idea of perfection, and you undo it, try it again, and it's a cycle, and that's what's holding you back. So yes, you need quality, you need it to be good, you need it perhaps to be lasting, but it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, as long as it accomplishes what you're trying to achieve. And sometimes we can put too much pressure on ourselves unnecessarily. So maybe we need to question that. And of course, the other end of that is that we rush it and it's not put together well enough, and it doesn't last, and we have to start again because we didn't take the time to get it right. So which of those is going on in your situation? Ask yourself that. And make the relevant adjustment. Slow down a bit if you're going too fast and pay more attention and focus in getting it right rather than getting it done quickly. Because you'll only end up having to take it apart and start again. I'm speaking as if we're building something like the birds here building the nest. It also goes through sort of metaphorically as well, that whatever process we're in of creating or whatever we're trying to achieve, sometimes we have to undo what we've done or go back a few steps and start again because we did it quickly and it seemed to be all right, but it didn't actually accomplish what we wanted, so we've got to start again. And if we'd have taken the time, we might have gotten it right the first time and it might have worked and been okay. So rushing can sometimes make us take longer because we mess things up and it takes us longer to rectify them. So rushing isn't necessarily a time saving quality. So we have to find that middle ground of just doing enough to be good, to be right, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to be bogging ourselves down in trying to achieve perfection. So we need that good, solid middle ground that comes, that balance in the middle that achieves what we want and has the function for what we want and achieves the goal that we want. And we need to find that sweet spot that's right. So to me, this card again today adds on to yesterday's message, but is more focused to me on the actual style of and the manner in which we're building what we're building, either literally or figuratively. So I believe that's the message of the Seven of Pentacles today. Okay, let's see which Oracle card we get to go with it today. Yesterday we had details. It'd be funny if that came out again. I'll give it a good shuffle. I could see how it might, because it could apply just the same with today's slant on the message, but we'll see. We might get it a totally different slant on it today. Hopefully, because we don't want exactly the same message. But that sometimes happens, particularly with important messages. We have movement. Different things in motion here. We have the ostrich, we have the balloon in the sky, and we have like a landscape here with a windmill. Is that on the back of the ostrich moving forward? I think it is. Now, if you were in the windmill, you've got the motion of the windmill. That's it. That's where the motion is, on the windmill as well. But you've got that forward movement of the ostrich. You've got the floating, steady movement of the balloon. And to me, this is steady movement. The steady turning of the windmill. The ostrich striding forward. And the moving forward may not be perceived much if you were in this windmill. If you were small enough to be on this windmill, you wouldn't realize how much you were going forward. And sometimes we don't realize how much progress we're making, going back to the Seven of Pentacles. But movement, it's the style of movement, the way that we're moving, the pace at which we're moving. Balloons seem to just float across, but it may not always seem when you're in the balloon that it's moving as fast as it is, but it won't be speeding across, but it will be making steady progress with the current of the air, going with the flow of the air current. And maybe that's the key. Catch that right current and go with it. Not too quickly, not too slowly. And just go at the right pace and the right speed, paying attention to the details, getting it right, more nearer to the first time than not, and that in itself will move you forward towards achieving your goal. And I believe that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message, a bit longer than I anticipated. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.